Alright, in this video, we're going to be flashing this ATI Radeon X850 Pro graphics card for use on an Apple Power Mac. Now, I have actually done this in a previous video. However, in that video, I had to flash a reduced ATI Radeon X850 XT ROM. Now, while that ROM works just fine on this card, it does have a couple issues that affect the performance of the card and also affect the temperature of the card, and also do not allow the DVI port to function. Now, the proper Radeon X850 Pro ROM for this card, for Mac at least, requires a 128K EEPROM to flash it on. Now, stock, this card only includes a 64K EEPROM, which is only large enough for a reduced ROM. So, and there are also no reduced ROMs available for the X850 Pro. So, what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be removing the original 64K EEPROM, which I believe is located somewhere below the heatsink. I'll have to take that off to get to it. But, and I'll be replacing it with a 128K EEPROM. So I have the new EEPROM right here. You can see that it is, well, this one was actually used. I took it off another card, so it's kind of dull. I've been experimenting with a couple cards with this EEPROM actually. But I do have a pack of 5 of them, one of which I took out, which is right there. So these EEPROMs are MX, let's see if I can read that, MX25L1005As. And each of those is 128K in size, which is enough to flash a full Power PC, or if you're using a card that you intend to flash for Mac Pro, it is enough space to flash a combo PC BIOS and EFI compatible ROM. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this heatsink removed, and we'll go ahead and start the process of removing the EEPROM. So to do that process, I actually got some new soldering equipment. As you can see, I have a SMD rework station. Now, I actually got this off of eBay for about 50 bucks, I think. And well, I wish I could have gotten one of a little higher quality. I have used this one a little bit, and it does work just fine. So as you can see, it is kind of cheap. The heater selector there doesn't really show it in actual temperature, but just shows it in a series of 1 to 8. So it's not exactly the most accurate thing in the world, but it does get the job done. So this is the tool I'm going to be using to do the process, do the soldering process on this board. As you can see, there's the end of it there. So let me go ahead and get this heatsink off and get that EEPROM off. So I'll resume the video. Oh, actually, before I do that, I actually did get well, I sort of devised a new way to film when I do soldering like this. I found this tripod with this little mount in it, and as you can see, I just stuck an iPhone in there, and it actually works just fine. So if I go ahead and turn on the iPhone, you can see that you can actually get a pretty good view of the card. I'd probably zoom in and do the soldering like somewhere around right here. So you should get a pretty decent footage while I'm soldering with this setup. So I'm going to go ahead and get that heatsink removed, and we'll get started on the soldering. So I will be right back. Alright, so I've just gotten the heatsink removed, and as you can see, there's the main GPU chip right here. So the EEPROM itself is located right here. It's this chip right there that I'm pointing at with the tweezers. So we're going to go ahead and get that chip off the board. So the first thing to do is just to turn on the reflow station, and we're going to go ahead and add some flux to the board. So let me go ahead and do that real fast. So you just want to put a little bit on the chip here. Now the flux I'm using is not the right type of flux. You should use gel flux for something like this. However, liquid flux is all I have, and it seems to do the job just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and add some to the chip. Just a little bit is all we need. And get my tweezers ready, and we'll go ahead and begin the removal of the ROM. So I'm going to go ahead and point the air gun at it. It shouldn't take too long for the solder to melt, so I'll give it about 30 seconds or so. Alright, and the EEPROM has been removed. So we'll go ahead and set it aside. And we'll go ahead and place on our new EEPROM. So let me get that lined up here. Make sure to line up pin 1 with the place that pin 1 actually goes. Alright, so that's on. So let me go ahead and add some flux. And we'll go ahead and heat the chip up again. Alright, so the chip is now in place. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stop the video here and reinstall the heatsink, and then I will go through the process of actually flashing the card. So once I get my card put back together and get ready to start the flashing, I will show you exactly how to do so. So I will be right back. Alright, so I'm about to prepare a flash drive for flashing. So before you get started, there are a couple things you're going to need. First off, you're going to need a PC with an AGP slot. I've got one downstairs, a Dell Dimension 4600 that I'm going to be using for this. You will also need a PCI graphics card because AGP machines cannot use the onboard graphics while there's an AGP card installed. So you're going to need to make sure you've got a spare PCI graphics card that you can use while flashing the card. Second of all, you're going to need a flash drive. I've got one right here. This is just like a 1 gig flash drive that I'm going to be using. It doesn't really matter what size it is. It can be as small as you like it to be. So any flash drive will work for this. And as for software, you're going to need this application called a Rufus. You're going to need ATI Flash, and you're going to need the desired Mac ROM for your card, which you can actually get here. Let me just go ahead and go to the page. So if you just go to here, you can browse for your ROM that you need. In my case, I got the Radeon X850 XT ROM, which should work just fine on the X850 Pro since they're basically the same card. And that's the ROM I downloaded right here. So on the site as well, you can also get the reduced ROMs. Before I used this reduced ROM right here, which like I said, didn't really work exactly right. So this is why I'm going to be flashing the full stock 128K X850 XT ROM. So the first thing you're going to need to do is insert your flash drive to your computer. Alright, and then you're going to need to open up Rufus. Be sure you select your flash drive here, select MBR FAT32, and you're going to want to make sure Create Bootable Disk using FreeDOS is selected. So go ahead and select Start, select OK, and this will take just a few seconds. And once that's done, you can go ahead into the drive here, and you're going to want to copy in a couple things. So first off, you're going to want to rename your ROM that you want to flash to something you can easily type in, such as x850mac.rom. Or actually, .rom is already there, so I'll just name it x850mac.rom and copy it to the root of the drive. You're also going to want to copy these two files from the ATI flash folder onto the root of the drive as well. So once those things are done copying, your flash drive is now complete and you are now ready to begin the flashing process. So just go ahead and remove your drive, and I'll resume the video on the machine I'm going to be used for flashing. Alright, so I've gotten the Dell Dimension 4600 all set up to flash. As you can see, I have the ATI Radeon X850 Pro installed in the AGP slot, and I've got this really old, actually, Cirrus Logic PCI video card installed in that PCI slot there. And as you can see, that is the card that the monitor is connected to. So I got the flash drive plugged in, and I've got the machine ready to boot up and flash the card. So let's go ahead and do that now. So as you can see, the Dell logo is kind of screwed up because of the old video card installed. But let's just go ahead and boot from the flash drive. Alright, and now what we're going to want to type in is ATI flash -I. And this will basically just show us the info of the card that's installed. As you can see, it is detected there, and the ROM is successfully detected as the M25P05. So, now that that's done, we can go ahead and flash. Alright, so if the card that you're flashing currently has its stock PC ROM on the EEPROM, then what you're going to want to type in is ATI flash -S, and then the name of the desired name of the ROM that you want to save, and that can be anything. It'll just take the ROM off the card and put it on the flash drive as the name you specify. However, since this is a blank EEPROM that I just put on the card, I don't need to do that because of course there's no ROM on the EEPROM. So I'm going to go ahead and just type ATI flash -P0, or the number of your adapter, and then you're going to want to type the name of the ROM you want to flash. So in my case, that is x850mac.rom, and then you want to type -F, and then press enter. Okay, so if you get this error, this could mean one of two things. Either the EEPROM isn't supported, which it should be in this version of ATI Flash, but I'm not sure, or the ROM needs to be unlocked. So before I do anything else, I'm going to try to unlock the ROM. So the way you do that, you just type ATI flash -P0, and then unlock ROM. I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong on that. Okay, That's not the right command. I think it's just ATI flash dash unlock ROM. Alright, well, let me look up that command real fast and I will be right back. Alright, so I was pretty close on my command. You just have to put the index of the ROM you want to, or the adapter you want to unlock after you type unlock ROM. As you can see, I did there. And it gave me an OK response, so hopefully this time, if I run the ATI flash command, it should successfully flash. And as you can see, the update was successful. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is install the card in the Power Mac G5 and see if it works. So I will be right back. Alright, so as you can see, the ATI Radeon X850 Pro is now installed in the Power Mac G5. So if the flashing was successful, we should get not an EFI, but a boot screen on the monitor. So here goes nothing. And we got a signal. And we have a boot screen. Alright, so let's just go ahead and wait till it boots up here. And there is the system. Let's get out of all of this. And let's head into About This Mac. So, as you can see there, the card is successfully detected as an ATI Radeon X850 XT. It is of course a Pro, but like I said, they're pretty much the same. And everything is working perfectly. So that is how to flash and replace an EEPROM on an ATI Radeon X850 Pro graphics card and flash it for a PowerPC Mac. Hope you enjoyed this video.